why chemistry? Okay, it's called the central science, and that's usually for a reason, okay? Because almost anything you do is going to be related to chemistry, okay? It's why it's called the central science. It in physics essentially makes up most of science. Biology is, is nice, but it's not really central. All of you sophomores or, incoming sophomores or, juniors and seniors know that, most people take chemistry honors or chemistry in sophomore year, okay? And what is important, when you're in school? Grades. All of these, well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them, interact with each other. Okay, like you have number one, matter. You define matter, and then you use that to define atoms, and then in atoms you have to use that to define, electrons and why do they matter. So 1, 2, and 3, that's how they're related. The hard part about chemistry is now, okay, how do you understand chemistry? Okay, you can straight up memorize everything in here if you really wanted to. That's not really going to help, because when you get to college, what if you're majoring in a science, any sort of science, or any sort of engineering major? You're going to have to retake chemistry, and by then it's going to be a lot harder. So you want to already know what it's already there, and you don't want to have to relearn the entire class over again. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, so study. There is a difference between why water is a liquid when carbon dioxide and hydrogen and oxygen are gases. Okay, you can memorize the answer to this. Okay, that's perfectly okay. That's one way to do it. Okay, the other way is you can reason through it. Okay, so let's take a look up here. Why water is a liquid? Well, I'm assuming most of us know that water, the chemical formula is H2O. Okay, then hydrogen and oxygen, H2 and O2, those are gases. Okay, so how come water is a liquid? So next one is an example of something from a type of question from the SAT 2 chemistry question. Okay, there is a section right in the middle where it asks you essentially to think. Okay, part one is going to say, okay, something like ice is less dense than liquid water. Okay, and there's going to be a because in the middle, and the second part is going to say water has strong intermolecular forces due to hydrogen bonding. Okay, and so the point of this part of the SAT 2 is you have to answer true or false to both of these. Okay, so both of these are true right now. Okay, now on the SAT 2 they also ask you, does the second statement explain the first? So if you don't understand what makes ice less dense than liquid water, you're going to answer true, and be like, oh, I have no idea whether or not it explains it. You are going to get, you have to guess the problem. That's a 50-50% chance. You don't want to take that chance. Okay, so this will be true, and the second statement here would not explain the first one. Okay, now let's go to this one. Okay, ice is less dense than liquid water, and I changed the second statement to the molecules of water must hydrogen bond in a certain orientation. Now, if you just memorize that water-hydrogen bonds, what happens is you see hydrogen bond in this one, you see hydrogen bond in this one, and you have no idea what the difference is. Okay? You might be able to take your test fast, but you have no idea. You're probably going to get one of these wrong. Now, this one specifically refers to the fact that water has to be in a certain orientation because of the hydrogen bonds. So in this case, the second statement explains the first. And again, this is just another example. This is, the type of question that's going to be on the SAT 2 chemistry. You need to understand chemistry. You cannot just memorize it. Okay? It's not just understand each of these, separate sections. You have to be able to understand and relate most of these. Most of them are related. Some of them are not very closely related to other things. But you need to be able to relate them. Okay? So, how to study? Okay, one of my key, advice, my key advice to students is don't fall behind. My second one is really don't fall behind, because the whole point of this presentation is, hey, you have to relate everything in chemistry. What happens if you fall behind? Well, then you're going to be spending time trying to play catch up. Okay, and we all know, hey, if you have to do that, it's not going to go well. You have to spend more time trying to understand chemistry, and then, you might get the thinking wrong. If you get the thinking wrong, then you're not going to be able to do the questions. Okay, so seriously, my advice on how to study is don't fall behind. Okay, understand chemistry.